It's the Sports Wagon Podcast with your man, Uncle Dub. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. It's Uncle Dub, ITSUNCLE_DUB. Also on Instagram, Sports Wagon Podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about happy accidents for a second. So my guest, I have a guest today, and originally this guest was supposed to be on a few shows ago, and I messed up. I mean, you would think that as at my big age, I would remember that time zones exist, and duh. So here you are. But all that to say that I guess now it was meant to happen right now because this is episode 300, and I am very pleased to welcome on Dr. Tunisha Singleton. She's a media psychologist, big time sports fan. I mean, her tweets are hilarious. We got to talk about her tweets because she goes from 0 to like 90 in a second. It's so good. And she's also the board president of Black Girl Hockey Club, and you know how we feel about Black Girl Hockey Club around here. We are stands over here, and her field of interest, media and technology's influence on the human experience and fandom. So we want to talk about all that good stuff. Tanisha, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Much appreciated, man. I know time zones are hard. Okay. Numbers was hard. We just had a time change. Don't trip because I forget to ask people all the time, like, wait, where are you in the world? Is that -2, 3? Like yeah, I forget all the time. No sweat. But per your point, meant to happen today. And absolutely honored and pleasant to be here. And yeah, I love chopping it up with like-minded folks. So yeah, this will be fun.
I appreciate you making me feel better because I still feel bad about it.
Dude,
But
numbers
thank
are
you. I
hard.
appreciate that.
Right.
I
Numbers are
appreciate it.
hard. Time zones
Yeah,
are hard.
yeah. I mean, you learn it in kindergarten, and at some point you just forget it, so it's all
Yeah.
good. Or maybe it's third grade. I don't know. Anyway, um, before we start, I didn't mention this. Tell us about your podcast. So you have a podcast. Tell us about that. How did it come about, and what are the like? What's the what do you talk about?
The what? Yeah, I always feel so bad because I have a podcast. It's called I Have Questions. And the tag where culture and conversation collide. Originally, I wanted to understand what people embrace, what people do to stay safe, sane, and entertained. So whether that's like esports, sports itself, being an athlete, being an erotic author, I mean, all of this stuff, right? And so it's eventually evolved into just like different cultures. And me, I want to chop it up with cool people, and I want to understand like what's going on outside. Like that's my point. Because especially as you know, academic PhD, I teach at a number of different universities. Most universities are like academia as a whole don't like me because I actually want to apply things outside. I don't want to say, okay, open up chapter 3 and then quiz you on it. I want to open up chapter 3 and say, okay, now what does that look like outside? What does that
Mm-hmm.
look like in this setting? Take this prop. Take da, da, da. I'm applicable. I'm a producer. I want to get my hands dirty. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
in the show, I like to talk about different theories, sociology, psychology. Obviously, sports is in there a lot, and where that intersects with society, I mean, you can't separate it from anything. You know what I mean? So I like talking with a lot of different professionals in different industries. Sports will always, be a big crux of it. Um, and yeah, but I'm a dick because I haven't done an episode in so long. And I'm now in the process of, I've got some stuff lined up. So I'm going to bring it back. It's coming back, everyone. I promise. At IHQ Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And if you just go to my website, TunishaSingleton.com, IHQ is up there. And I'm excited about what I have in store for the relaunch, so to speak, IHQ 2.0, so to speak, of shows coming back and will be bigger, better, and more consistent than ever.
Nice. I like the sound of that. That
Yeah.
sounds good. And I've listened to an episode or two, and you really, again, you got a
All over.
lot that you're
I got a
talking
lot.
about. It's so good, such good stuff, and I really
Because,
like it. But
for me, it's like when I went to grad school, San Diego State, go Aztecs, and film, screenwriting, new media production, what I was in there for. My mentor, Lee Marshall, was like, because I went in thinking I was going to be like Oprah or some shit. Like I was going to write, direct, light, hold everything right. And he was, at least sat me down and he was like, "You're a writer, you're a storyteller. So stop doing all that other
Mm,
shit and just tell stories because that's what you do." I was like,
mhm,
okay. And it was so helpful having someone on the outside just who gets to know you and then says, "I see you and I see what makes you light up and I see what your gift is." And that was
mhm,
so helpful. And I was like 23, 24 at the time. So I was like, all right, storytelling. And so that's what I like to do. And the thing that he taught me, he was like, writers don't write, writers observe, writers listen. Like the first thing writers do is listen and observe. So I like watching, people watching, observing, and either praising or condemning and being, a petty hater, but I like observing. And so me telling stories and often, in a comedic way, but real shit is embedded in there,
mhm,
telling stories is yeah, passion of mine. And that's why in the show, it's the spectrum is all over the place because it's really hard to find a space that I haven't been in or know somebody a part of or something that makes me curious.
mm, mm. But I like it. I mean, it's good
Yeah.
because again, you start in one place. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like that's what happens in this space. I start here,
Sure.
and
Mm-hmm.
then by the time we're done, it's like, wow, we've covered the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
It just works. It just flows. It's really nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's pieces of a puzzle, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Pieces of a
Okay.
puzzle. Everything eventually will you see the big picture, but it's
Mhm.
every single piece, every single story, anecdote, it's part of it.
Nice. Nice. So let's start here. When did your interest peak with? So okay, media psychology.
Yeah.
Explain it to me like I'm five.
I say that saying all the time too. And I needed someone to tell me what the F this is. Like I'm gonna, I've already cussed like 3 times. Like, so it's a thing.
It's fine.
I
It's
be
fine.
cussing.
It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. It is all good. Trust me. I slap a E on it. We're good.
Excellent. Fucking excellent. Let me get it out. So media psych, how I came about, I was living in LA and working in production and all that jazz. And I was bartending at the time. And I was in between, doing commercials, music videos, working at, America's Funniest Home Videos or working on an AT&T commercial, whatever I could get your hands on, right? When you're in LA, you got to wear every hat and it's a hustle, you
Mhm,
know? And I got sick of that shit. And that Me Too shit is real. And I wanted to figure out some type of out of LA and out of that industry in that form in LA. And so I'm just kind of fucking around on Google and I have no idea how media psychology came up, what the hell I didn't put in, but this is 2013. And I find it, I was like, something went off. I was like, because I've had the extensive media background already. I did film and radio at UC Santa Cruz, screenwriting, new media production at San Diego State, a dozen years. It's like prison. I did a dime and a hat, in LA. It's like, yeah, I did a dime, you know, did my time and, in LA. And I needed something more fulfilling. And giant sports fan, grew up playing sports, everything that they let me. And I noticed though within myself, my own patterns were changing. Like I couldn't watch a game without live tweeting it all of a sudden.
Ah,
I couldn't watch a game or go to a game without making sure I was like, like selfies using the hashtag Clipper Nation, like all that, like I could not do that.
right.
And I was like, but I'm obviously not the only one because this is how I meet folks now a lot, right? Engaging on Twitter. And
Mhm.
so when I go to an information session and I was like, hey, has anybody studied like sports fandom? Has anybody looked at fan identity and like media and all this shit? And they're like, no. And I was like, good. That's what I went in there for. I studied, fan identification, what makes community and commitment, but media psych as a whole, big picture, talk to me like I'm five. It's understanding the human experience as it relates to tech, media, art, all of those things. So look at patterns between media consumption and human behavior. What do you watch? What does it make you think? What
Hmm.
do you watch? What does it make you feel? How do you get somebody committed? How do you build community? Look at the election and shit going on right now. They're
Mhm.
telling stories. Those campaigns are strategically designed to make you feel some type of way. How? That's media psych. You start
Mm.
from a psychological perspective to understand how people how people function. What do people want? What do people need to hear to buy in?
Mm.
And so there's a bit of narrative persuasion that's in there. There's a bit of social learning theories. It's like once you understand human dynamics, how we get motivated, the patterns that we have. If the first thing you do when you wake up, is it open up TikTok or something? Why? What does it give you? So essentially, one of the ways that I try and look at it is look at our relationship with media in like three ways, like the usage of it. So how do we use it? We use it for dating, we use it for jobs, we use it for social connection, we use it for, family, we use it to communicate, work, whatever. The relationship that we have with it. This bitch needs to be charged when I'm watching a game because I am going to be, as you know, talking about it. So my relationship with this in Twitter is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn. I don't have a Facebook, so meh. Instagram is private. I don't do nothing there. But so our relationship with it, what does it mean to me? Especially if you have like a Bible scripture app and that sets your intention for the day. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So that your relationship's important. And then the third part is the meaning that is associated with it, with a song, with an app, with a technology, with a story, with a piece of art. Symbols? Things mean something, right? The
Right.
meaning that we associate to these things. Twitter means a lot to me. I've gotten more work off Twitter than LinkedIn. I get a lot more, and I meet cool people through Twitter, not anything
Mm-hmm.
else. So it means more to me. What, these Peloton, wearables, Apple watches and shit, and Fitbits, because oh, I need to drink some water. I haven't done enough steps. So sometimes there's a crutch. We need this thing. It motivates us in some way. It changes our behavior. My brother told me to buy a Peloton because it would help him get on the bike. I'm like, how the fuck? And he was like, no, because we could like battle. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you want me to get the bike so you could because of competition. That's how he works more.
Mm-hmm.
He's more
Mm-hmm.
effective, or he's more likely to do it because of that interactivity. That's technology. So that's understanding media psych. So when you figure out what you want to do to somebody, what marketing, what statement, what meaning, whatever, and you work backwards. All right, let's study people. Regardless, we're in the people business. If you're
Mm-hmm.
selling toilet paper, a politician, a sports team, a shoe, we're talking to people. So it behooves us to understand how we function. And
Mm-hmm.
that's media psych. It took
Wow.
me a while to get there, but that's it.
No, it's fine. It's a lot because you use a really great example about the election. It's kind of like it 20 years ago, it was really about crafting a very careful message. Now it's okay. One side is crafting a very careful message. The other side is just telling you bullshit you want to hear, you
Yeah.
know. But the folks who are listening to that bullshit, they are buying it because of the way that it is delivered. There's a
And
lady I found.
relatability.
Right, correct. Well, or so-called relatability because you think, well, oh, you're gonna raise my taxes, but you live in a trailer park. We ain't come for you. We don't
They don't
care.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, okay, that makes sense because again, psych is again trying to identify, again, like you said, motivations, things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Understanding what creative elements were used to create that message.
mm-hmm,
So being able to deconstruct a campaign, a commercial, a song, because all of that stuff is intentional. Like there's an idea like called framing, and it's a psych theory, but it's also in like media production or just anyone who's taking a picture, they know what fucking framing is. So you set up your camera, this is what you want in it.
mm-hmm,
All that other shit you don't see, right? So it's
correct.
very intentional. I
Mm-hmm,
want you to focus on this. Think about now how journalists frame. They
mm-hmm.
only
Oh,
got 500 words. They're going to let you see what they want you to see. They're going to
mm-hmm,
leave out the fat, cut out the fat. And if, and think about too, okay, horror movies. It's going to be dark. There's probably going to be some smoke, some blood, a dead bitch, a knife. Like there's things that make you feel a certain way to elicit about the jump scares, like that.
mm-hmm,
Those are intentional. Love a romantic comedy. You're gonna hear a lot of do light beat music, like la 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 la, like people are gonna be smiling, like so literally, because everyone starts with a blank canvas. What you
mm-hmm.
put on it are conscious decisions. what you put on it and what you leave out are conscious decisions. And those decisions, if you have a strategic team and you actually give a shit and not just throw spaghetti against the wall, you are doing it for a reason, because it is likely geared towards your target audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's to elicit a particular emotion. It's going to make you feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So choices are behind all of that.
Right. Oh, wow. That's,
right.
yeah. It's like the will just gets so deep. It gets so deep.
It's deep as hell. And that's why media psych is so interdisciplinary. Like the people in my cohort, I'm over here talking about the game, right? I'm talking about sports, fandom, marketing, identity, community,
right.
all that shit. Somebody else was actually a lawyer and was
Uh-huh.
studying it from like, a persuasion kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody worked at Nielsen Ratings and was into like neuromarketing and like brain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else was an actual therapist, and so
Mm-hmm.
was looking at how media can be used to help improve, efficiency within client, smart couch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's just someone was into video game development. So it's literally any industry. We're all in the people business. So like there's no avenue where studying media psych wouldn't apply.
Mm. So let's take that and let's add to the sports. So now, at what point did the two intersect for you?
The first, I again, like myself, I look at, maybe I'm selfish, but I was like, I see, my patterns. I'm on Twitter. I'm meeting friends. My own patterns of watching sports media consumption has changed that way. But then I look at, it started there. And I was like, fandom people, fans are the most passionate, crazy SOBs on the planet. There's so much range. The extreme of anything I hate. So extremely this way, extremely that way. I'm like, that's why the word extreme exists, because there needs to be something to identify you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, sports and media psych, it's like, again, we're talking about people, and this is a very targeted group of people, regardless of what the sport is, that doesn't matter. But how is it sports 24/7? The sport experience goes far beyond the game. It's why ESPN is 24/7 and there's 7 ESPNs and all of this stuff, this stuff in industry term like shoulder programming. That's why we have feature stories, cover stories, video games, esports, betting, and I like all of this stuff helps support the sport as a lifestyle and as a culture.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to understand with my dissertation, what are the components of commitment? How do you build community? And how does that relate to the sport experience, and
Mm-hmm.
how it now has created so many opportunities for individual athletes themselves, right? What athlete doesn't have their own podcast now?
Oh God,
you know
please,
so
please.
they're all using media and technology and podcast, all these other shit that didn't happen before. They're all using it now to extend their own brand, their own image, their own personality, make some coin in their pocket outside, of their respective sport. But all of that is new. All of
Mm-hmm.
that shit is new. And then what sponsors are you going to get? All of that stuff, you got to talk to that brand. You got to talk to Anheuser-Busch, and be like, hey, why you? Or Monster, why? Well, we're going to have to come up with something cute that makes it relevant and make a ad about it. So all of it is related to the sport experience and how it has evolved, essentially.
Sadly, the majority, maybe this is overstating it. Sadly, the majority of the athletes who actually have podcasts are the athletes we don't fucking want to hear from anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's
Totally.
one or two that you're like, oh, for the most part, Draymond Green, I've said it for, dude, I don't give a shit what you think. I really don't, because
Yeah.
he's going to give they say something super ignorant anyway. But nevertheless, but
Same
yeah,
with Micah Parsons. I'm like, go away.
Pat Bev.
Go away.
Right, exactly. I don't care what you think, because you've already told me that, you've already shown me that you
Yeah.
don't have a lick of sense. Like, you don't have three
Yeah.
brain cells to rub together.
Right. And that's the beauty to me, because I know all of them have that, and great. I ain't listening. That's fine. And that's what they want.
Right,
I'm gonna keep
right,
scrolling
right.
because it took me 40 years to value my time. Like, I value my time. So if I don't like something, I'm not gonna watch it. Done. The only athlete podcast in my rotation is Marshawn Lynch. Him and Mike Richardson got one called the Get Got podcast. It's only like a month old. There's like 5, 6 episodes maybe.
Damn, I gotta check that out. I love Beast Mode. I love that
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. I would listen to him read a recipe for bread. Like, I don't care. I love him. I love him. So when I find out I don't even know how I found it. I don't know. Maybe my Spotify was like, hey, man, you like this guy? And it bet. So, because I'm subscribed. Get Got podcast is him and Mike Richardson.
Let me write that down.
And it's Get Got podcast. And he is himself. And he calls out all of the shit. And it's funny because now he has a jar that anytime Mike says something that sounds too corporate, Beast makes him put in like $50. Because he was like, Mike, and he's the one that's trying to drive and like make it, a show. And he was like, yes. And so in the National Football League, and then Marshawn's like, would you shut the fuck up? Like, corporate? What? No, stop being corporate. This is bullshit. I ain't come here to do corporate shit. It's hilarious. So, and he is himself unapologetically. I love that Skittles and all these other cool things that he's doing allows him to be himself, because he is a beautiful human and is actually very intelligent. But unless you had more than 3 brain cells, you wouldn't think so. You would just, read a book by its cover and keep it pushing. But if you actually listen to what the man says, shit is brilliant. And that's why he named it that. He told the story, because the opening is like, I know I'm going to get got, but I'm going to get mine more than I get got. We know what that means.
Right.
And so that's why the show is called Get Got Podcast. It's awesome.
Well, again,
shout out Marshawn. I love you.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, look, the man with the Berkeley. Come on now, you know he's hella smart. Come on now,
he is intelligent.
And very, very,
that is a
very
smart
intelligent.
Brother, man.
Very intelligent. So, thinking about all these pieces with media psychology, fandom. Let's think about fandom. Fandom is so much different than it was 25 to 30 years ago, and now we add layers to it. You got social media, you got the politics. Can you kind of speak to kind of how all that kind of muddies the water a little bit more now with fandom?
Yeah, it really does, because it's good and bad. We can never have anything nice, because someone's gonna fuck it up for the rest of us. Like, it be your own people.
Always.
Yeah. And it's like that in fandom too. One of the things media related that is a huge part of this evolution and how it intersects in so many different spaces now. Industry smarty term is participatory culture. So now fans are allowed to engage with the sport experience itself, other than like a non linear passive experience before, which is just sitting on the couch and watching the game. Now there's so many more layers now where fans get to participate, be a part of the experience. Think about all the QR codes on a Jumbotron that make you, entice you to do shit when you're at a game. Take a picture of this and then, put a little funny filter or whatever. That's engagement. We're participating. All the times when, now, when you watch UFC pay-per-views, they put your tweet on the TV. They pick a tweet and they share in real time, right? So it's like, oh, at T Singleton says, whatever I put. So your tweets get up there and they encourage you. They use the hashtag, get your tweet on TV, So it's a way to keep it active, make that hashtag trending. Now, and because the social piece, like, that's in and of itself is a stream of revenue, especially if you're an independent athlete, right? So Twitch, YouTube, IG, all that, right? So there's so many different, and they want fans, and they understand too that there's this loyalty perspective where it can get messy. Example, yesterday I find a tweet from Kamaru Usman that he's voting for Trump and he loves Trump. I bought his shirt like 4 months ago and it's in my Goodwill bag now. Like, are you serious? Great. He can vote for whoever he wants to vote to. Cool. But that don't mean I gotta fuck with you. Like, I get to mess with somebody why and when I want. I'm done with you now. Clearly that head kick from Leon Edwards really did scramble your brains, you know? Or
Maybe it was scrambled before that. Who
and
knows,
it
right?
now yeah, he flipped the switch on crazy because I don't know what the fuck. Like, you got daughters and he's standing next to Trump like he's gonna make the future I want for my kids. I'm like, is he? Because he'll ship you back to Nigeria, fool. But
Right.
you're rich, so there's that.
Mm,
You know,
right.
so the
Mm,
participatory culture of things and like is a big part of fandom. And think of even outside of sports, the way fans contribute to a story beyond what is actually the story, like fan fiction, the way that so many like Harry Potter and stuff, like
mm,
there's a deep web of people writing their own, addition to things like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. It's huge. That's all fit. Star Wars.
mm.
Those nerds. Like I'm not a Star Wars person, but sorry, shout out Star
Hey,
Wars people.
we're not gonna slander Star Wars though,
No,
but
no,
I
no. Shout
understand.
out Star Wars,
I get it. I get it.
like all of it. No, that's Star Trek. See, I don't know. I was about to do it.
I like them both, but
Oh,
I
okay.
get it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
All them people, that's huge. They've got conventions, right? There was one just here
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
for Star Trek and Star Wars. So Comic Cons, all of these Comic Cons, it's for fandom. It's 100% creating spaces where people can get together, enjoy the same thing, add their own flavor to it. Look at cosplay, the way that people
Mm-hmm.
dress up in certain costumes. They pick a their character that they're a fan of that either embodies a trait that they don't have, or they recognize themselves in it in some way, or they love it so much and they want to put their identity in it. Like, I've seen somebody do instead of Chun-Li from Street Fighter, like, she was black, but she had Afro puffs instead and made it look like a black Chun-Li. She put her culture on it. I was like, bet. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
else did that with even with characters that like aren't human, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole, you put your identity on it. It makes it, there's a little bit of a thumbprint kind of that gets stamped. You're putting your stamp on a fictional or real, like a person or a real team, you're putting
Mm-hmm.
your own unique thumbprint, a part of a bigger franchise, and it's like you're leaving a little piece of yourself.
Right.
And
Right.
that's social identity theory. We get esteem and confidence from being a part of a larger group. That is social identity. So being a fan of something, it's 100% just turning the dial up on our identity. We get esteem from it. We get bragging rights. We feel confident. We feel boosted. And that's the good of fandom. The bad of it, we all know and see. And
I mean, but we've been seeing it. I mean, if
yeah.
I mean, you could literally look at. So I'm looking at. You can look at just about every league. So I've always said on this show, I've always said that there's like, I feel like with all of the professional sports, the major professional sports commissioners, there's like a race to the bottom. Okay. It's always Goodell. Goodell is usually the first one. Every now and then, Rob Manfred finds a way to piss me off. Gary Bettman is really working his way down there. Adam Silver, he's kind of, and
Yeah.
now we can throw Kathy Engelbert in there a little bit
Yes.
because again, with the thing that she said with
And
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and then of course the increase in hate this season, they decide let's wait till the end of the season to release a statement. Which I'm going, what are you doing? Like, what's
for
happening?
real, and from the top rope, here's one: Dana White.
Oh God, put a pin in UFC because I really gotta. I've got questions about that. I gotta ask you
See,
about that. But Dana White is the absolute worst.
that's what I'm saying, right? And that's, yeah. So it's that kind of leads into a very interesting part that I'm starting to do more, not only just research, but try to consider this in my approach to designing marketing or communication or content strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And that being when something isn't made for you, but you're still a fan of it or you still like it. Like
Okay.
hockey and the whole Black Girl Hockey Club stuff, which I know we'll
Okay.
probably talk about later. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm a fan of UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Their target audience is that yacht rock monster energy drink lifted truck kid rock playlist, like, woo! couldn't be further opposite than me, right?
Right.
Could not be. But I'm still a fan in spite of. In spite of having to see Trump get fucking walked out on every pay-per-view he wants to because he's boys with Dana White. And I have to sit there like, man. I have to sit there and, you know, people are loud in their opinion, whatever, it's fine. But I got to sit there in spite of. I'm a Black female, I'm a demographic that has to do it. There's, you know, if I'm sitting next to, you know, Felix, he probably doesn't have to feel like he's here in spite of. Felix knows he's being talked to. He is who UFC MMA is for, right? Straight, cis, white dude. Right? So here I come, my Black ass. And then, I'm in spite of it. So I have to sit there and be like, and like physically ignore and feel like cut out all of the fat and actually just enjoy the sport. And that's an active thing. I can't watch UFC passively because I have to consciously always remove all of the things that I don't like and still just watch the sport that I want to watch. Same with WWE. And this is because of a good friend of mine who I had on my podcast. I'm not sure if it was one of the episodes that you listened to, but Josh Rosenblatt. Shout out Josh. I hate you. I love you. He's great. He wrote a book called Why We Fight. And it was about his, he had one amateur MMA fight because he realized he turned 40. He'd never been punched or been in a fight. And so he went to a boxing gym and an MMA gym, signed up for a fight. And so the whole book is about like 6 months out, 5 months out, 4 months out. And along the way, he's giving you story and history about different sports and the moments of his life, like as he's leading up to this stuff. You know, he got married during that time and he said like he couldn't have wedding cake because he was still cutting weight. You know, so it's like I love that book. Josh is fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
And it's called Why We Fight. And so it talks about, the history, all that jazz. But him and I were rapping, and he knows that I'm a big wrestling fan. And so he was like, why are you a wrestling fan? Like, it was never meant for you. It was always very stereotypical. It was always, like this attitude era. Sometimes it was very, very bad. He's like, how can you watch wrestling? Like, you don't see yourself in it. And so that was one of those things too, where I realized, I have to do it in spite of. I may not see myself in it. I didn't know what feeling represented felt like. It wasn't until very recently, right? Where we had two Black women main eventing WrestleMania, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. WrestleMania, like 4 years, right? I cried as a 40-year, however old I was at the time, a grown-ass woman. I shed a happy tear. Because they did in the ring too before. They stood there for like 5 minutes just soaking in the moment because that's what the fuck was. It was in moment, right? When I was a kid growing up, the only black woman I saw was Sapphire, who would come out with Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
And because I was like,
there was now I'm a little older. There was a Jacqueline. Okay.
Oh, this is before that.
Okay.
Dusty Rhodes, this is like the Jake the Snake, late 90s, early 90s, or late 80s, early 90s era. And Dusty Rhodes, with his, polka dots and stuff. And Sapphire would come out. And there was a bit where like her and Sensational Sherry were pulling hair and all that stuff. But Sapphire was a big fan of his and would just dance like Dusty did, with his personality. That was the only black person I saw, and this was, 1990. But Jacqueline, absolutely love her. She came in like late 90s. There was Jackie, who had like long braids, and then who's the other one I'm thinking of? Can't remember, but very, very few, right? And then even for the black men, it was like Virgil, who was Ted DiBiase's slave,
right?
There was Kamala, who would like have the paint and shit on his body.
Coco Beware.
Coco Beware with that parrot.
Right.
It was gimmicky. So it wasn't until very, very late, Attitude Era, the greatest time, like 97 to 2005 is like that golden decade of just when wrestling.
Harlem Heat.
Harlem
Heat.
What I'm saying?
Right.
Booker T. Like Stevie Ray, like that stuff was awesome. Obviously Nation of Domination, D'Lo Brown, Farouk, like good shit. But we all know now, like Vince McMahon was a piece of shit. And there was so much racist stuff that was happening and just awful things, period. But from a representation standpoint, it wasn't until recently where we're starting to see a lot of others, a lot of diversity. So there's that concept again of like things not being built for you, but you being a fan is much more of an active experience because you have to ignore all of that stuff. And white folks, dominant group, don't have to do that because they're the dominant. So when you're marginalized like that and you enter a space that wasn't designed for you explicitly or implicitly, there's still a bit of, some shyness. Sometimes you don't feel comfortable being in there, and a lot of it, people miss out because they have a certain personality, that's shy, non-confrontational, all that stuff. I am the exact opposite. So I don't mind telling somebody to fuck off. Like when I was bartending in LA and I put a hockey game on, it was an older black dude. He was like, "Why are you watching that white shit? Like, turn that shit off." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm watching it because they fight and they skate real fast and I like it. Okay, I'm behind the bar. I will 86 you." And he was like, "Oh shit, my fault." I was like, "Thank you." But somebody else would be like, "Oh man, I'm stupid," and feel bad about it. I've been called N-words at games, and with Black Girl Hockey Club, a lot of these young girls, I had, some of the scholarship winners that we award and the young black girls that we help and work with and support, they tell us shit like, "Man, I almost quit because the coach was like, 'Will your hair even fit the helmet?'" Like shit like that. And that would be imagine you're 10, 11. You already the only.
Right.
And then you hear someone in a position of authority tell you something like that. You'd probably throw that jersey out, throw them skates away, and maybe not do it again. People have told us that. So that's why there's like the implicit, like obviously it's not going to say no blacks allowed. We can't do that anymore.
Right. Right.
But they'll say it in other ways. And it's shit like that. So it's being present in a space in spite of. And that's a piece of fandom that I'm actually very much more interested in from a psychological perspective. And then also the industry. I've just submitted an abstract. I hope it gets accepted. I'm sure it will in this journal. And I called it, the clapback. And it's a cultural case study about black female pro athletes having to clap back at other people in social media spaces. And it's a form of resistance because, and an example of digital black feminism now. And I'm looking at Sha'Carri Richardson, Asia Wilson, and Angel Reese. So I'm taking a collection of tweets from all three of them as examples to do kind of like this critical analysis of like, they have to clap back all the time just to protect their own identity, because obviously everything that's targeted to them is cultural, it's racial, it's gender, right? So, and the other point of it too, just like we have to be there in spite of participating in social media spaces, Black women, Black men too, but this paper specifically, Black women have to, it's again, a very active thing because you have to consciously, like actively ignore that stuff. So, and white people don't have to do that. Dominant groups don't have to do that. There's that extra step that we have to go to. And so clapping back is a form of digital black feminism and an everyday resistance, because otherwise we would just all disappear. We wouldn't do it. Why bother? You have to have some enjoyment. What's the benefit, right? So that's this submission that I put in. So hopefully it gets accepted. I'll write it next year. I'll, be doing presentations and talks about it and stuff. But it's highlighting everything, that you've asked and that we've talked about so far, because sports, it's not just fans, right? Like these are people, these are human. And I think COVID and BLM, George Floyd, like all of that became a very, very active conversation, right? These movements when Dwayne Wade and Carmelo and LeBron and I don't know who else like stood on the stage, with their fist up, on the ESPYs, I think it was, when the WNBA players like had their jerseys inside out or some shirt, and like
they had the vote jersey. So I think was it the
where'd you go?
the election? So they had their vote jersey.
Oh no, we're
so
frozen.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Bruh. It froze.
Yeah.
um,
the vote jerseys, the vote
yes.
t-shirts. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then obviously, in Minnesota, like
Mm,
after George, all of that stuff. So they're people just like us. So that whole shut up and dribble, go fuck yourself, obviously. So that's why I like understanding now more of the, psych and how that there's a lot of meaning that comes from this. If we open up, our awareness a little bit, we can start to see like, okay, I feel this way because blank. A lot of times we just accept stuff. A lot of times we just do. We don't understand why.
mm.
We just need to turn on that critical thinking a little every now and then, turn on that self-awareness every now and then. And you could you can identify the why. That's what I like to do. Figure out the why and then the how to make it better, you know?
So that was a really great answer, because as you're talking to your fandom as a UFC
Mm-hmm.
fan, I think about, NASCAR.
Yeah.
For years and years and years, I never watched it. I had a very good friend who's no longer with us, and he got me into IndyCar racing,
Ah.
and I enjoy it now. Start to enjoy it less and less because they don't race as many ovals as they used to. And a couple of years ago had a guest on. He's a good friend, and he's a black NASCAR fan, and wanted to get his perspective. And then I've met others, and there's a podcast out there that does they're black NASCAR fans. They talk about NASCAR, but in a lot of cases they talk a lot about what you spoke of, about kind of being in a space that is not necessarily welcoming, and not in every case, but in many cases. Because I've heard they'll say, oh, well, I don't go to X track because you just know what you're going to get. And I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
yes, kind of, you want to enjoy the space, but
Yeah.
yet you kind of have to, as you said, block everything out in order to focus on your favorite driver, or focus on what's happening. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's that's an interesting perspective, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of sucks, for lack of a better way to put it.
Totally. And if the privileged don't recognize that that's an experience is that we have and they don't, you know what I mean? It's like when we talk about Black Girl Hockey Club or, the UFC or any of that stuff, it's like, oh, when I say, yeah, I've been called an N-word at Staples Center before, or, in the Bay when I was at a Sharks game or something. And they're like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, bitch. That's why we're here. It's like, why do I have to justify? Like, you don't understand that you are a, above middle class white man,
Mm-hmm.
and the red carpet that is provided to you don't see that.
Right.
And how that is going to be a very different perspective than me as a black female.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think we see two different prescriptions? Like, of
Mm-hmm.
course we do. So don't assume that your prescription is everybody else's. Nobody sees it the same. We have
Mm-hmm.
conversations with our kids, what age did you get to talk about driving around cops? Or being like in a mall or anything? Yeah, when did you get the cop talk?
I mean, it wasn't the cop talk, but it was the whole talk of,
You're black, by the way. Yeah.
you got to
This
do
is
it.
what it
You
means.
got to do it 100 times better than everybody else because you're black. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. They don't
Mm-hmm.
get that talk.
Right.
And so to not understand that other people are going to have other perspectives. And so you have an opportunity to help correct that and remedy it in your own space. It is an opportunity. And a lot of times it goes for nothing because nobody sees it as that and doesn't want to do it. Half of the people in Black Girl Hockey Club are white because they're down. They're
Right.
allies. They're doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, I don't know why. No, I'm just ranting. Sorry. But it's like, I teach an intro to leadership class at UNLV in the sports management department. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell them too, I tell this to every class that I teach. It's like, control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to a NASCAR thing or something and you hear a bunch of bullshit being slurs or whatever, being thrown, or someone feels uncomfortable because of something going on, check them. If
Mm-hmm.
it's your boy, check your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Or let them go spew whatever and then go up to that person, those people, that family, and be like, hey, yeah, sorry, we're not all like that. How long you been a fan, and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's controlling what you can control. And
Mm-hmm.
that little interaction is enough where if more people do it, it's like watering a plant. Like it eventually will grow into a community that's beautiful. But we don't water that. We don't have enough individual instances of that type of remedy, So opportunities are there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, it's self-awareness is hard. People don't do it. Common sense is not so common.
Common sense is not common. I mean, I'm finding more and more that people are very, very less self-aware. Like
Listen,
people just don't look at themselves in the mirror. It's crazy. It's absolutely
yeah.
crazy.
And their empathy is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's this girl around the corner, like got it into a car accident. I was like a hair away from getting creamed, but the woman next to me missed it. And like she got creamed driver's side. Old woman ran a red light and the car starts rolling back. Their airbags went off, the whole thing. I was the only one that got out of the car and ran up to her and called
Mm-hmm.
911.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5 p.m. on a Wednesday, like fucking traffic everywhere. No one else got out of the car except
Mm-hmm.
me. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like on site. Like it didn't even matter. I didn't have bra on. I was flopping everywhere, like sandal going this way. Like I was like booking it, right? Like I don't care. I saw someone that needs help.
Right.
I wasn't trying to go out in public. I was trying to go to a drive-through, So, but shit happened. And so I'm like, shit. So now all of a sudden I'm outside. But of course I would, because if that was me, I'd want somebody to help me.
Right.
But again, awareness, people don't like to do
Mm-hmm.
that. And I was like, wow, yo, everybody ended up like, yeah, some dude rolled the window down. He's like, you good? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm good because I wasn't waiting for you. I promise.
No, bro.
No,
I'm
bro.
not
Yeah.
good. I'm not good.
Yeah.
And thanks for asking, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Go.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the media coverage. Just talk about generally. Is it fair to say that money is driving how the media uh cover sports, or am I oversimplifying it? Let's just get that out the way.
I don't think it's an oversimplification. I think it is money drives everything. And there's a lot of opportunities that get lost because there's not enough people, I think, in leadership willing to take a risk
Mm-hmm.
until it slaps them in the face like women's sports, right? And what
Mm.
happened this last offseason and how it has continued to grow year after year after year. And now this, obviously, Caitlin Clark, Angel LSU, South Carolina, all of that stuff is like, oh, and now everybody, right? All of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
it's in the A block of First Take. All of a sudden. And that's why, my girl Monica McNutt checked Stephen A for being like,
Hmm.
listen, we've been here, okay? So don't act
Mm-hmm.
like you've been here, okay? When we talk about New York sports, you never mention the Liberty. So go fuck yourself. She didn't say that, but I knew she wanted to. And I did it
Right.
for her,
Right.
Because they say every time, I remember once they were like, oh, what New York franchise would bring a championship to New York first? And they said Giants, Jets, Rangers, Mets, and Yankees. They didn't even fucking say the Liberty. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
so she's like, listen, go fuck yourself. So don't act like you all, great. I'm glad you're talking about it. We want the coverage. We deserve the coverage. We're fucking lit. But don't act like you've been here day one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So money covers all of it. And it's because there was ratings, there was more money. Now all of a sudden it's in the A block of First Take. Right. So money does drive that. That was a glaringly obvious let's go every network, right? About women's
Mm-hmm.
sports and basketball
Mm-hmm.
in particular. Bet that's a no-brainer. But for all the other opportunities that could be had, and this is what's cool about, hearing about the black fans who do that podcast about NASCAR and driving and stuff, because I always think people don't know what they want until you show them and until you present it to them some kind of way that speaks to them. All of us probably have a lot of different entry points into our fandoms, right? Some people, oh, I'm born in LA, that I'm a Lakers fan, right? I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
They can go fuck themselves. But my dad was a fan. I'm a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend, my roommate, all of us have different stories as to
Mm-hmm.
how we became a fan of something. So if you have no knowledge about NASCAR, which I do not, and I've tried to understand it myself, I'd be like, I don't get it. And then I stop, right? I don't even try. I was like, I don't get it. And I turn the channel, I never try again. But if there was someone who kind of talked like me, looked like me, or, was charismatic and captivating and like broke it down in a way that was appealing, I'd be like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm interested, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this girl, her name is Mel something. She's a co-host of the Jokes on You podcast, which is a great podcast. Two sisters host it. And she she calls it sports ball because that's how dumb and she is to sports. She's like, oh, the sports ball is on. And the obviously with women's sports and college and all of that, she started doing selfie videos and stuff. She was like, girl, did you know this person was dating this person? There is tea on this game. And then the coach actually did. So she was talking like, girl caddy stuff. She's like, I gotta watch this now. And look, she fouled her, and that's because they're exes. And they're like, she was bringing all this extra stuff. WNBA invited her to the All-Star game
Wow.
because she was
Nice.
like and now it was like a regular thing that she does on her social channel. It's like Mel Bad Bitch, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
um they invited her, and she was like, I'm here at the sports ball, and like she didn't change her gimmick, so but that was a completely different demographic, a Black female demographic, who probably also didn't watch sports because it's
Mm-hmm.
not a sports podcast, it's a comedic podcast by Black chicks. Probably, if you analyze their audience, it's probably predominantly Black chicks.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a demographic who probably doesn't also watch sports, like they don't, who are now interested in the tea, as we say, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an opportunity. So that's a new entry point. If you allow for more opportunities of others to come in with their own flavor like that, and what they did for her going to the All-Star game, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's fans now who have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with it using Twitter and TikTok to tell the stories for you. Where she's stitching things like, she's like, okay, so she's on the links, and she dated this girl on the Suns, right? Now watch this play. And it's like, it's hilarious, like soap opera stuff.
Mm.
And listen, that's not for everyone, but it was for her audience. And those are still just new fans. People are like, oh, I didn't start watching until I heard it on this, or until I heard this person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have feature stories. That's why Hard Knocks. I didn't know shit about fuck of the Detroit Lions, but I watched their Hard Knocks season, and I
Mm-hmm.
became in love with Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan kid. It was like home. It was meant for him to be a Lion. And his rookie hazing thing, like they make you sing a song as a rookie, like
Mm-hmm.
karaoke style. Um, and he did Billie Jean, and so I was like, oh, done. I love this guy, and like everyone was like, and I was like, all right, I'm a root for him for the rest of my life. Done. Like, he's awesome. He sung Billie Jean. His parents seem cool. Those are feature stories. They ain't got shit about his 40
Mm-hmm.
or how much he can deadlift. Human, human stories. That's what people love. So the whole point, people don't know what they want until you show them.
Mm-hmm.
You show them in ways that speak to them, and there are more than one ways of doing it. It looks different, right? That's why they have feature stories. That's why there's 30 for 30s. They tell all
Mm-hmm.
these stories outside of the court or the field or whatever the space is. They tell you the human stories behind it. A lot of times when people watch a feature story, they're like, oh, I didn't know his sister got hit by a car and now he does this, all of this
Right.
stuff. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to root for him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exact reason why I hate the Chiefs, because all the fucking Swifty bitch hate him, that all of a sudden like made his Travis Kelsey's jersey #1. You think those White Claw drinking people watch or know anything about football? No, no,
Very little.
very little. And this is my last rant on, because you're talking about media, and this pisses me off, and it just fucking pisses me off. I live in Las Vegas. The Super Bowl was here, right? I
Mm-hmm.
could not go outside because I was going to get a hate crime because every fucking billboard in business was like, my dive bar down the street had a sign that said Swifties welcome. I like kick open the door and I was like, no, the fuck they're not. Brandon, take it down. No, they're not. And he was like, dude, they got money. And like, yeah, I got more White Claw and Trulies. And I was like, oh my fucking great. They're making their money. Fine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my problem with the media part of it. I watch sports because I don't like most other entertainment things. I don't watch the news, it makes me mad. I don't
Mm-hmm.
watch reality TV like that. I don't
It's
watch,
trash. It's
I
complete
don't, yeah,
trash.
like unless it's like, you know, a random episode of like, you know, maybe 90 Day Fiance, and I'm good. I'm sitting there and like, ha, I knew that, you know, something like that. Fine. I don't watch Entertainment Tonight. I don't look at the trades. I don't care about any of that stuff. So then when this whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, great. I'm so happy for them. Awesome. But what pissed me off was that on ESPN and every time the Chiefs game was on, they forced a Taylor Swift pun or cut to her in the suite. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
here to watch. I watch sports so I don't have to see that. Why the fuck are you bringing it in here? Like, we have lanes for a reason. I'm
It's
here because I don't want that. Why are you bringing that here? I don't want that. Imagine if someone in CrossFit went to a yoga class and was like, why aren't we doing burpees? Like, it's not that space, right? Don't bring that here. Not a yoga person going to CrossFit like, when's Shavasana? Not happening. It don't bring, that's over there. That's cross street. They
mm-hmm.
don't merge for a reason. Why? They forced it down my throat. Every Troy Aikman. Oh, well, let's see if the Chiefs defense can shake it off. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I didn't want to see it. See? Forced it. Every
That
fucking
is
show.
terrible. It's absolutely
Every
terrible.
fucking show. Forced it. Sports Center, Get Up, First Take, all of it. It was my worst football season as a fan ever. It was last year because of that female. And media, they were like, oh, well, we have to captivate on this. Like, this, she's the biggest star in the world. Like, we have to capitalize on this because that'll bring people. And that's media, money. So long-winded 12, 20-minute answer of, is money doing everything? Yes, it is. Because, and they just leverage who's hot at the moment to do so. And that was my Taylor Swift rant.
So let me ask you this. So with all that said, let me ask you
Yes.
this. If we change the person, if it's not Taylor Swift, let's say it's Beyonce, do they act the same?
No. Ha! No. And we know why. Because she's black.
Right.
She's
Just
not
checking.
the cute little girl next door. She's
Right.
not blonde. Well, her weave is. She's not, she's not, I'm pretty
Right.
sure she had a world tour too and a new album in a new genre. That was awesome. Eh. Oh, they said Taylor invented like the swag surf. They
Come
cut to
on,
her.
man.
They cut to her in the suite doing like the most
I
stiff
know.
fucking. You know what I'm talking about.
You're right. You're right. 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 You're
Next
right.
to uh fucking Kermit's wife, and I can't stand. And so they're doing the stiffest thing, and then all of a sudden, like a headline is like, "Oh, here's a new dance crave." I was like, "New? Have you
New.
seen an LSU game? I'm sorry,
Have you been to a
what?"
club? Let's try that.
But this broad did it, and now it's oh. So no, if it was Beyonce, anybody, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. And
Mhm.
yeah, and probably white folks probably wouldn't want to admit it unless they have self-awareness.
Mhm.
They would
Mhm.
get it. But yeah, media still. That's why I was like, if there's somebody with balls to take a risk, and there's a lot of cool opportunities that could happen, I think, in
Mhm.
media, fan experiences that could have a community impact as well.
Mhm.
That's essentially what I want to do or where I want to try and go still as a professional and as an entrepreneur and a scholar. I just want to meet the right person to be like, listen, like I just want to be able to help have fun because I'm selfish and I know that there's so much more cool stuff that could happen and I want to
Mm-hmm.
see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because essentially, the big thing now is, and we alluded to it, the gap between men's and women's sports. That the numbers
Mm-hmm.
don't lie. That women's sports
Sure.
are they're popular. They've been popular. I mean, it's like there are folks who've been in on the ground floor. There are folks who get in on it now. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it's taking off. But yet there's still this huge gap in coverage. You mentioned
Yeah.
First Take. I felt sorry for, I think it was the Final Four this year, and I felt sorry for Andrea Carter, who's amazing,
Oh, love.
and Shanae Gumake, who had to
Mm-hmm.
sit on First Take and appease Stephen A. Smith with his stupid. So, do you think that Caitlin Clark, her her legacy's intact if she doesn't win a title? Who freaking cares? Can we talk about the game? They're playing. I think they played. I think they played UConn in the semifinals. Can we talk about the game? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What she wants to
Or
tell now?
there
Who
was
freaking cares?
yeah, or when the women win gold for the trillionth time, the First Take get up, they were like, why was Caitlin not on the Olympics? Why didn't she make the cut?
Right.
Why that should have been a no-brainer. She's the
Right.
most popular. She's bringing all of these new fans. Grant, she did. I didn't say she didn't, but oh, why? Then she's getting snubbed. This is the U.S. team is fucking up, and they're like, are they? Because they kind of won too for the trillionth time.
They
So
won. The ratings were off the
yeah,
charts,
yeah.
and
So why are you
we're
talking?
winning a gold medal in basketball, not marketing. Let's come on, guys.
Yeah. So
Come
why are
on.
we? Why are you talking again? Like, not. Can you stop? And that's a producer. That's a producer, someone who makes seven figures, who created the rundown
Mm-hmm.
and handed it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Handed it to Stephen A, handed it to whomever, right? It was like, this is the breakdown. These are the segments. Somebody created it. So that's who I want to slap. And that's who needs to be talked to and their bosses to be like, listen, there's so much more that we could be doing and doing it correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, out of the gate, not going to be great in terms of, okay, because it's one of those things too where it's like, God, you wanted us to talk about it, we're talking about it. God, like, we can never make you happy, right? Like, devil's
Mm-hmm.
advocate, you wanted us to
Mm-hmm.
talk about it, we're talking about it, but you're talking about it the wrong way. So it's still like, oh, we can never win, we can't never get it right, or you just
Mm-hmm.
but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta uh, you gotta just have some, yeah, some self-awareness. And people don't like taking risks because risks tend to, have, well, in this space, like, it's an investment, it's a risk. That's why it's called risk, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there's enough money out there. and
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like no excuses now because we have internet. People create their own spaces when they don't see it. We created our
Mm-hmm.
own space, Black Girl Hockey Club, like make a podcast. People aren't talking about it the way I want. Fine, let's talk. So that's why your boys made the Black People Fan NASCAR Turn Left channel. Like, we make our own spaces because
Mm-hmm.
nobody else is going to do it, so we do it.
Right.
So
Right.
that's also a fandom participation kind of thing. It was like, well, they're not doing it, so I'm going to do it. But again, that's effort. That's conscious. That's, I wish I could do more, but I also have to have a job. So I can't do this all the time. There's ways that traditional mainstream media could be really revamped and really, really cool, um, and offer more than what we have.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't hired me yet.
But it's crazy how we've gone from the sports reporters to First Take to Speak for Yourself, which are
Oh
Get
my
Up, which,
God.
I mean, it's all terrible, and it's amazing that people still watch it. It's so crazy.
Only one Get Up I like. I fuck with
Mm-hmm.
Get Up. And that,
Mm-hmm.
but in the beginning, Get Up was hot trash, like
Mm-hmm.
porta potty in a Taco Bell drive-through trash.
Oh.
And it was Greeny, Beetle, and Jalen Rose
Mm-hmm.
when Get Up first started. Hottest of porta potty juice. Awful. Eventually, praise God, they got rid of those two. I love Greeny. I fucked with Mike and Mike a million years ago. So now it's this rotating guest, super cool. They have Culture Wednesdays with Swagoo and Ryan Clark and Dominic
Mm-hmm.
Foxworth, you know, like they'll Kimberly Martin, Kmart, you know, Dan Orlovsky, he's hilarious, like in the most dad joke kind of way. Like, so they bring
He's
in these cool, he's funny to me. Like
he's meh, you know.
he
His
can
his
be,
his,
man.
his takes are terrible. I honestly think Orlovsky's takes are. I mean, he played the game. His takes are
Sure.
awful.
I do like when there's a lot that I disagree with him on because like he said something like, and this was last season. I don't even remember because it was that trash. But now you know how they bring in the tape where they like break it down a little, all like this is what the play is, and like I love
Yeah.
when they do that type of shit, and he
Mm-hmm.
does great video stuff like that about the quarterback positions. Because I was like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, so it's like I like when they do that kind of stuff. He does have some trash opinions, like he doesn't eat like chicken, or he doesn't know what salt and pepper is. Like he's that kind of dude. Like he doesn't like a lot of food, and
If I
it's
speak, it's gonna be ugly. But anyway,
but
go ahead.
I think Get Up has improved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And because of these different voices that they've brought in, and it's comedic to me. It's funny. It's like to the point where now like look forward to certain things. Like on Mondays, the show always ends with Dan Orlovsky doing a dad joke. On Wednesdays, I know Swagoo's going to be there. We're going to do, you know, security, Swagoo security. If Jeff Saturday's there, they're going to do pancakes where he highlights 3 different offensive lineman plays, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
know it's Thursday, Harry Douglas is going to be there. He's going to do That Boy Bad, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so these funny things that are so appealing to me, I look forward to those things. And that's to me, I was like, okay, well, whoever used to produce that, thank you for reading the comments and changing the whole flavor and
Mm-hmm.
vibe of the show. Cause I can tell they all fuck with each other. I can tell they all get along and will break bread with each other and stab for you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a person consciously like looking at like, hey, this is porta potty juice. Now this is, you know, now this is great. At least to me, it is. And it's the only one that I DVR. And well, okay, let me not lie. Get Up is good, but to me, number one, and has been number one for like 20 years, is PTI.
Mm-hmm.
And Wilbon Kornheiser, you can tell they've been doing, I think they just had like 30 years or something together on that show. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
fucking love that show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a show whose format has been now replicated in every other industry, like news, like having the ticker and you see what the
Mm-hmm.
next topic is.
Yes.
CNN didn't do that before.
Nope.
MSNBC never did that. That's some PTI shit.
Right.
So I like that kind of stuff. And look, the election man, you know, the man with the numbers who do the
Kornacki.
with the glasses, Steve
Yeah, I
something.
think it's Kornacki. Yeah, Steve
Yeah,
Kornacki. I think. Yeah.
he on Sunday Night Football, like he does the projections and he's
Yes.
with the
Yes.
tray. That
Yes.
man. So I was like, oh shit, it's the election guy, like the newsman. And so like I like when they do stuff like that, you know? Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of crossover. And obviously, like, look how, yeah, that format, there's so much intersection. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much. And that's what gets me hype and stuff. But stuff can get so much more improved if it wasn't just about money, and if someone took some risk and wanted to think outside the box, they could do that if they wanted to.
Right. So, Black Girl Hockey Club, how long have you been affiliated with them and your board president? Describe your role as board
Yeah,
president.
sure. So talking about fandom and Twitter, 2019, I'm living in LA still, and I see a random tweet, like I hadn't been following it, I'd never seen this before, and it was like at Black Girl Hockey, and it was like, hey, we're gonna have a meetup at Staples Center. It's Golden Knights versus the Kings. Come meet up early, blah 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 blah. And I was like, Black Girl Hockey Club, the fuck? Nuh-uh. And this was before you could buy verification. Like they had the check mark. I was like, Because what do you do? Like, we go down the rabbit hole to make sure it's legit, right? So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, they got the check mark, click. And then I see a .org, like they have a real website. I was like, okay. And then I see the actual 501(l)(2). I was like, okay, it's getting hotter. And I see pictures and I was like, I'll play your reindeer games. Fine. Here's $50. I buy the ticket.
Uh-huh.
And it was like show up at 10 a.m. outside like LA Live, outside Staples. I'm never calling it that crypto shit. Like it's Staples for life. Anyway. So I show up at like 10 and I'm skeptical as fuck. So I'm like, like, did I just get got kind of thing? And I show up 10 a.m. on a Saturday and there's like 50 people already out there, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, wheelchairs, blind, old, young, babies, queer, straight, anything. It was the most diverse collection of people I had ever seen. Like, I don't see that at Target. And I'm
Mm.
in front of a hockey game, and everybody's got on BGHC stuff. And I was like, what? And they're like, hey, who are you? What's up? Oh, I was like, oh, it was one of those. I was like, holy shit, this is so awesome. And I wasn't even like a massive hockey fan then, but I was like, I'm in something, right? This is huge. And I just finished my PhD. And so I was like, who is this Renee Hess person who's the founder and executive director of Black Girl
Mm-hmm.
Hockey Club?
Shout out to Renee.
Shout out Renee, who just released a book called
Yes.
Blackness is My Gift to Her. Renee, shout
Yes.
out. I think she's in
Yes.
Canada doing like a launch. She was with
Correct.
Shireen, who in
Mm-hmm.
CBC. She's been shout
Mm-hmm.
out. Everyone buy this book. It's awesome.
She's been on the podcast twice,
Good.
so again, she's
Your audience knows some Renee.
an amazing human being.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I'm like, who's this Renee person? I meet Renee. Here, and this is the small world, like when shit's meant to be things. She lives 10 minutes from my parents. Like,
Wow.
she grew up in Riverside like me. We're
Mm-hmm.
like almost the same age. I was like, holy shit, like this is kinfolk, So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm gonna need to be involved now because yeah. And she was like, great, we need all have to. So then next year it's 2020, the world ends. I moved to Vegas and they were up for like new election board stuff, And so I was like, she approached me, she was like, I would love to work with you at a high level and like board president, you interested? And there was, a little straight up election, like real board shit, And so I got elected, and that was like 2021
Mm-hmm.
ish. And so as board president, not only from just a high level of, making sure that we're tending to all of the things that we need to do from a legality standpoint, but
Mm-hmm.
from the way the organization is helped run, I help just innovate new initiatives, help produce campaigns, help with the marketing. Shout out Taylor, who runs our newsletters and our communications. She's awesome. So helping strategize these things. At the time when I joined, there was just the scholarship program. That was it, which
Mm-hmm.
is, 3 times a year, they would give up to, $5,000 to Black girls from ages 9 to 18 to offset some of the costs, because it's, one, the most expensive sport to play. B, there's a lot of financial gatekeeping because of that.
Mm-hmm.
3, racist stuff that we've talked about to length now. So scholarship programs, great, huge. That was the only thing that they had at the time. That's their flagship program. I can't skate and cannot skate. And I know from working in the industry and working in spaces and being a huge sports fan, I know a lot of other people of color who have like, man, I've always wanted to work in hockey and stuff, but I didn't feel like they could. Just like they didn't feel like they could be a fan, they didn't feel like they could work there. So I was sitting there like, well, what if you can't skate like me? What if you're over 18, you're an adult? What if you want to be a part of the game in some way professionally, but don't know how? I
Mm-hmm.
created the leadership and development program. That's part of BGHC, where we have a roster of mentors who work in various aspects of hockey, who are ready, willing, and available to be a mentor that and shout out Rochelle, who's the co-chair of L&D with me, where we help supervise, monitor, and facilitate the 6-month, remote, obviously, mentorship with someone. So we, on our applications, It's like, hey, you tell me, yeah, you want to be a personal trainer? Bet. Let me hook you up with, a girl that we got in at Auburn. Oh, you're interested in color commentary? Bet. Let me hook you up with, Erica Ayala, the Black Rosie Media, shout out. And oh, you're interested in like marketing, anything. And so that's when we go out to our resources, our connections, and be like, hey, I got somebody who's really interested in this. Our first go round, we had she was like a junior or a senior in college in Texas. She was like, yeah, I've always been interested in, like different stuff, but I don't know what. I need the experience. The San Jose Sharks, shout out to them. They were the first team to join us and be like, hey, we'll be here at your disposal. Hooked them up. They sent her to games. They gave her local tickets, the stuff in Dallas, and they let her float basically and
Mhm.
remotely, obviously. But like she got to sit and rotate in different departments and be a part of those meetings. And now she's working there. So it's so
Nice.
huge, right? And this is someone, who otherwise would have never had such an opportunity. So
Mhm.
L&D, leadership development, that's, from like the professional standpoint, and Black of any gender identity, that's our L&D, because I want to be able to serve intentionally our mission. And so aside from, the administrative organizational things, I like to also, what my role is also to help innovate and make sure
Mhm.
that our mission is being executed in the most, in a realistic way, a measurable way. Because for me, you have to match values with action. Otherwise, you're just blowing smoke, right? So for me, and this is again a psychological approach that I'll take. It's like if you recognize the problem first, you can then like reverse engineer a solution and
Mhm.
inform the design of that solution. And that's how you match values with action. Hey, this is the most expensive sport. Black people can't afford it. Bet. Here's a scholarship program. Hey, a lot of racism. Got called the N-word the other day. I always wanted to work in hockey, but I can't. Bet. Here's our L&D where I'll help you get a mentorship. Hey, I've always wanted to go to a game and stuff, but I don't have any friends. Hey, we have a meetup and we'll go to different games and that, with teams that we work with, or we'll do virtual watch parties. Hey, there's a lot of like bad stuff happening outside and social change is important and I don't really know what to do, but I'm also a hockey fan. Cool. Here's our Get Uncomfortable campaign that's built to help, create resources for allyship against like police brutality in response of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud
Mhm.
Aubrey. And unfortunately, I could keep going on, right? So
Correct.
that is how here's the problem, what you doing about it? And
Mhm.
that's what I think my most important role is with the org.
Nice, nice. I mean, you wear a lot of hats. I
I
mean, just
do. I have a big
just with
head.
Black Clover Hockey Club alone, but you wear a lot of hats. But yeah, that's a
I have a
lot.
big
But
head. Yeah.
oh god.
Got a big old noggin. My mama said
Um.
so anyway.
Oh well, when mom says it, hey,
Yeah.
you kind
She
of
was like, listen.
gotta
Yeah.
roll with it.
Hmm.
Um. Let me ask you. Speaking of hockey, kind of going back to talking about leagues, professional leagues, and we got these problematic commissioners. The NHL, from your vantage point, does the NHL have a PR problem? We've talked about, we know about the pride tape, the
Hmm.
jerseys, kind of the can't wear cultural symbols. Does the NHL have a PR problem?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And I know there's efforts, lots of efforts. I last year, was it last year? 23 or
Uh,
22? I'm
it
thinking
was over the last couple seasons. I think the year before was the Pride
Pride Tape.
jerseys.
Yeah, yeah,
Pride
yeah.
tape was last year,
Last year.
and then there was the oh my gosh, I feel like I said his name wrong the last time. Was it is it Kachuk? Keith Kachuk? He had
The hair.
the goalie mask that was created as a tribute to his wife who's a native,
Oh, I didn't
and
know that.
the NHL was like no, and it's like what, like he was gonna wear it for a game, then he was
They
gonna
told him not.
sign it and auction it off, and the money would go to causes for native peoples, and the NHL told
They
him you
said
couldn't
no.
wear it. I'm going, what's happening
Why?
here?
Yeah, like, do you want 10%? Go fuck yourself. You're a billion dollar league, really. So yeah, there is a PR problem. Um, I remember seeing stuff like that here in Vegas, with Zach Whitecloud, first native guy, in the NHL. And I just so happened to have his little hockey puck right here. I
Nice.
like me some Zach Whitecloud,
Nice.
right? Where there was all
Nice.
kind of like racial slurs being sent to him, and like him here, like he was talking about it in Vegas. That was very, very, you know, uh, attentive to him and giving him a platform to speak about this stuff, which was great, right? But again, that was local. Like anybody else outside of Vegas wouldn't know that, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Right.
So there is, again, just like other orgs, for profit and non, there's a lot of lip service and there's a lot of efforts being made. We see, sure, departments and people's business titles being director of social change or community impact and these titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what did you do, right? Just how I broke down the problem and what we're doing at BGHC,
Mm-hmm.
the public isn't aware of what they're doing because all
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing is what they're taking away. We're not seeing like, hey, support diversity. Really? How? Well, go on. Like that's,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the go on phase because
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for it. University of Michigan, they sent me out to do a talk with their sports management team, and there was a Melissa, shout out Melissa, I can't remember your last name, but she works for the NHL in a social impact division, like player coalition, social impact, something, something, something. She's fantastic, and she's trying. Period. She's trying, and a lot of it is behind doors.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's so much good going on behind the doors, isn't it worthless then if it's not external, if it's not public? Don't you want me to know about it? But oftentimes executives, and I'm not saying the NHL or accusing the NHL of doing this, but a lot of times businesses, will just pass around internally, executive reports that show where money was going and it stays in the boardroom. And you can't actually pinpoint what that dollar went to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a PR thing. And someone who has a parking spot reserved in their name to understand, like, hey, maybe I should fucking show this and actually, be outside a little more.
Right.
That doesn't happen. These executive reports, they have to do them quarterly. So it's like 4 times a year, this shit happens, but we don't know about it. What we do see and hear is, all the bad shit. All the, can't have this, can't do that, can't do that. It's like, oh, why? I'm just here to play hockey. I don't want to talk about all that shit. You don't have to. But if
Mm-hmm.
someone else do, don't tell him he can't,
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
all these Russian and Eastern European folks, like, I just want to play hockey. I don't want to wear that shit. Listen, go fuck yourself. 1, 2, you get paid a lot of money. 3, you ain't got to wear it. You don't have to wear it. Just let everybody else do it who wants to,
Mm-hmm.
New York Rangers, shout out to them. They, a couple of years ago, is it in this room? No, it's in the other one. Flew me out, another board director who's local in the area. They donated $10,000 to BGHC, and I was interviewed on a lot of MSG local network stuff out there. It was amazing. And this is when you were still allowed to like wear black stuff because it just happened to be in February, and it was their celebrating Black Excellence Night, and they had this puck that they were giving away.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, special commemorative thing, in colors, black stuff. And then they had warm-up jerseys in the same color palette, right? Black, green, red. Only warm-up, only time they were going to wear that warm-up jersey, only time you could buy that stuff. And they're celebrating Black Heritage Night. And they
Mm-hmm.
gave me one with my last name on it, which was fucking sick. And
Nice.
other people, could buy the shirts and all that stuff. It's like one in a lifetime thing, right? They're not making no more, and it was
Right.
great. And the players all wore it, and it was awesome. Now they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do that. Now they wouldn't make a puck in, our colors. And it's like, damn, who hurt you? Like, who hurt you? Why is
Mm-hmm.
my presence? Why is celebrating my presence? Why? Who hurt you? Do you need a hug? Like, that's what I want to say to some of these people, But yeah, now that you can't have that, it sucks. So short and long answer. Sorry again. Yes, There is a PR problem. And they're not the only league. But again, they're trying, they're just not executing well enough, in my opinion.
Hmm. So with that said, what do these sports entities, these leagues, what can they do? I mean, the issue here seems to be, again, that intersection of fans on social media acting not nice, fans in the stands not acting nice. So what can these entities and leagues do to make themselves more inclusive, more progressive, despite the outside chatter? What can they do?
Mm-hmm. Because we know there are so many diehard fans and people live, breathe that shit, right? And example, I think it was a couple of years ago, the Hawks and Knicks, Trae Young was lighting them up. And I think a fan threw like a cup at Trae Young after they beat the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, whoa. And Trae was like, what the fuck? Really? You gonna throw some shit at me? You know? And I think they ended up, because of all of the cameras, finding who it was and banning him from going to Knicks games. Good.
Mm-hmm.
They should also now put that on a billboard, maybe not that extreme, but the fact they banned that guy, good. Good. It's like, you want to I'll make you famous, you know? So we need to start making more examples. Lead from the front. If we want inclusion, show us then. So when you see something ill like that, you're done. Example, Star Wars, you would know this, you're a Wars person, Star Galaxy guy. Ewan McGregor, that's his name?
Yes.
And who's the black girl who was like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something?
Okay, I don't think I watched that one.
But there was, right? And there was a huge uproar about having a black woman play a
Yeah,
certain character.
was a Rosario Dawson?
No,
No,
she's
it's a
dark
different thing.
skinned.
Okay, yeah, some of the outside ones I'm not watching, but yeah, I think I know what you're going. I know where you're going though.
So they hired, a dark skinned black woman to play whatever galaxy person, and there was so much hate that they got all these
Yes.
comments, racist pieces of
Mm-hmm.
shit saying, how could you do this? Blah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a black Little Mermaid. You mad about a
Right.
fictional character? Really? Her friend was Jamaican. That fucking crab was Jamaican.
Right.
But
Right.
okay. So Ewan McGregor, though, because he played who was he? Luke
He
Skywalker?
was
Who was
oh my
he?
god, he was Obi-Wan.
Oh,
He was
I
Obi.
don't
Yeah, but he
know.
was Obi-Wan, yeah.
He was in there and people know him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he recorded a video of himself, and you could tell like he was distraught, and he was like, she is lovely, she's professional, and if you think you're a Star Wars fan and you spit some of that hateful, racist comments, you're not we don't want you to be a fan of Star Wars. You're not a part of the galaxy or whatever their little thing is. Like I don't want you to be a fan. I don't want you to see this movie. I don't want you to be a part of this community. If
Mm-hmm.
you are that racist and you're going to say some shit like that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, thank you. Call
Right.
them out.
Right.
All of these allegiances, these media properties, sports and franchises like Star Wars have an opportunity because we fans listen, we respond, right? A lot of times people wouldn't know about a certain cause or charity unless their favorite athlete told them about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have an opportunity to, when they see something racist, ill, discriminatory, whatever, call them. I would make you famous. I would be
Mm-hmm.
like, this person is a POS, and I don't want you to be a part of Knicks. You're not a Knicks fan. I don't want you in going to no Star Wars, nothing. I don't want you to listen to my music if you're going to play it at a hate rally. I don't want you to be a fan of me. And I would quote tweet you and pin that shit for the rest of the season. If a fan was commenting something, it was like, oh, that black, blah, 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 blah. If I was like at Knicks, I would quote tweet and be like, blocked. I don't want you ever coming to a game. I don't want you to be a fan of us. That at least shows some now accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's now showing that you can't just say anything you want without ramifications. It's taking the the thug thumbs, I like to call it, when people just bully online because they say it here, but they won't in your face.
Right.
Fine, I'll reach more people this way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'll quote you and get right back at you, you know?
Right.
I want more media properties like that. That is something that they could do that would have an impact. What are your fan statements? Campbell McLaren, shout out, used to help run UFC. Now he's doing Combate Global in Miami, Latino-based MMA company. And I worked with him on making a fan statement, like something that would be played in their venue in Miami and on the broadcast of what they won't tolerate. And I'm like, great, I want some more of that. And don't make it like the terms and conditions you just scroll and hit agree and don't read nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually do it. Have the players read the fucking script. Like, make it cool. There's opportunities, again, to be participatory, make them feel like part of it, right? And I don't mean like some one-off PSA, like everybody's holding hands, but there are, again, those things, though, if we can start cutting out and be like, nah, I don't want you to be a fan, that would probably hurt a lot. That probably hurt their feelings.
Right.
If
I mean, you would think it would. I mean, there are some folks who kind of, as we've said, some folks lack that. I don't care. They don't lack empathy, but I think the average person, it would really hurt them to their core, especially if they are hardcore fans.
Yeah, that guy who grabbed Mookie, the Yankees, that fan. I don't know. I forgot the guy's name. That I don't like that journalist now. Like, who was basically, I mean, the article, I read it. Like, he wasn't promoting what he did, but he gave him a platform and like called him a beaut. You know, like he was this great interview that he got. And it's like, why are you even, nah. You know, like I wouldn't promote, I'm not calling you a beaut. I'm calling you something else, right?
Right.
How many characters I got? Like, that's what I would get, you know? But you are grabbing a guy, assaulting, you know, inserting yourself into a game. And this guy had like Yankee draws on, like he, you know, diehard New York Yankee guy, right? Cool. If at Yankees, I would be like, go fuck yourself. I don't want no more jerseys for you. You're banned. I don't want you here no more. That sounds like a dude who would be like, oh, or he would act externally, yeah, well, fuck him out. I live closer to the Mets anyway. Like he would say something externally, but inside he was crying. Inside he would have really his feelings hurt.
Right.
His friends would be like, well, I told you not to drink that. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, go shit, just calm down. You know?
Sometimes you gotta listen to your friends, you know.
Sometimes you gotta, you know. So I think, yeah, there's different levels of fandom. So if you were that diehard, that would hurt your feelings. And if you just got a free ticket and you don't know what's going on and you're a piece of shit, fine. But now people are gonna know who you are.
Right.
Even if you don't like them, I know who you are. I know you don't know how to act. And then now maybe, yeah, if you do that at MSG, oh, okay, maybe I don't want you to go to Tea Garden anyway either. I am pro public shaming, I guess is what I'm saying. In that sense. I know it's essential an extreme of it, but also how else are we holding people accountable? I'm tired of people acting ill. Like,
but the part of it, yeah, I agree. But the accountability, that's the piece. The actual team taking accountability. I mean, and of course, you probably have teams that'll say, "Oh, well, how we can't be accountable for our fans." But I'm thinking, why wouldn't you want to be? Because that reflects on you as a franchise.
Yeah. You're in charge of who gets to go in there. That's why Dolan, he has to be on your list too. We were talking about, you know, who's low on the rung, James Dolan.
Oh, yeah. He's a terrible person.
Because he's had a bunch of, weren't there a lot of issues with like facial recognition and entering MSG, and like the people that were suing him, he didn't, like they were banned, and like if their face was like caught or something, wasn't there something like that?
Yeah, that. I mean, come on. The man had an issue with Charles Oakley. Come on, what you sent your security to Charles Oakley? Charles Oakley played for you, and frankly, shout out to Charles Oakley. He went to Virginia Union, and shout out to him. But look, if they asked me to confront Charles Oakley, I'd be like, no, you have to fire me tonight, sir, because he ain't gonna knock me out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's gonna be a no, dog.
Yeah,
insane. So it's like, if he can control who goes in MSG,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, these franchises, they can get fans arrested and shit like that for fighting or whatever. It's like you have more control. And even if you can't kick them out, I bet, yeah, if you still just publicly shame them or,
Mm-hmm.
did some form of, I was going to say public execution, but it's not, we're not killing folks, but it's some form of accountability of what you
Mm-hmm.
can do.
Mm-hmm.
Why not start to make a precedent of accountability and what you will and will not tolerate?
Mm-hmm.
Even making a statement, right? Like that's the minimum
Mm-hmm.
that you could do. Do the press release that someone like me writes for you, right? In PR and media. You get someone like me to write your statement about why what happened is garbage and you don't stand for it. That is the bare minimum. And some
Mm-hmm.
people don't do that. Teams
Right.
don't do that.
Right.
Excuse me.
Bless
So,
you.
thank you. So, if that's the bottom rung, there's more levels of what could be done, right? I
Mm-hmm.
would have a lawyer sit next to me and I'd be like, can I do this? He'd be like, no. I'm like, damn, can I do this? Like, I literally would just do that. And I want every CEO to just have a lawyer next to me, like, can I do this? And say, no, damn. And I would just keep going until I found one that I could do legally and not get, sued for.
Public execution? No, we can't do that. Okay.
Public, yeah. Like, gas chamber? No. Oh, okay. Firing squad? No. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
none of that. None of that.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people, and this is like totally random, um, like everyone should be lucky that genies aren't real, or if they are, that I haven't found a genie, because what I would use my three wishes on, yeah,
Well,
there's enough
there
people praying for world peace. Who's praying for me? No one. So I'm going to use some selfish shit with my wishes. Everyone's going to pray for world peace and end world hunger and fucking man in the mirror stuff. No one's praying for me. So I'm going to shoot my shot. It's my genie. So I'm going to use wishes, right? That serve, but
Mm,
I'm not a dick. So I'm going to, what I do will be for the greater good. But
mm,
yeah, that was
mm.
very random. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Because this got me thinking like, why is it three wishes? Why couldn't it have been four wishes?
Right? Like, and you can't use your wishes as more wishes, like fair,
Right. Correct. I get
but
that. That totally. I'm
yeah.
good with that. I'm totally good with that.
Yeah, I would ask for like full international immunity so I could do whatever I want and not go to
Mm,
prison.
mm,
I want a dragon who is dual transportation and weapon of mass destruction.
mm,
And I'm saving my third one. I don't know what that is yet. Because if I can have full immunity, then I would just rob banks all day and have money. So I'm not going to ask for money because I could just steal money. They steal
mm.
my money, so I'm going to steal it back.
There you go. So
Right? My rationale.
give and take. Totally give
See?
and take. Totally give and take.
Fair.
You said earlier that you play sport. What sports did you play?
Yeah. Basketball and volleyball.
Okay. All right. Baseball and volleyball. Is there a sport you don't watch? I think you mentioned you don't really watch auto racing.
Yeah, car stuff I don't watch, but I got a friend who's like into motor GP, and I don't even know what that stands for, Grand Prix or something. I don't know. So
Mm,
I don't know anything about driving stuff, but I not to say that I wouldn't watch it. I just
right.
don't know. I need somebody, to sit next to me and hey, sell me. Right? It's like I'm open. Sell me. Why is this cool? How fast are they going? What? How many more turns? Like I need someone to teach me, and no one on TV is cool enough that I would watch to do that. I've
Mm,
tried. I
mm-hmm.
mean, I only like and I think he does do that. God, what's my boy with the funny accent? Beard, kind of gingery from Alabama. He's got always talk. What is his name? He's got a
Oh, Marty Smith.
yes.
Marty Smith.
No. Is it with the Alabama
Is the
funny accent?
ESPN?
Yeah.
Marty
It
Smith.
is
Yeah.
Marty Smith. Yeah.
Marty Smith. Uh-huh.
I like him. He's funny. So, but I don't see him do NASCAR stuff. So I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I don't watch that, but I'm open.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't watch tennis until Serena and Venus.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch golf until Tiger. I didn't know what a birdie was. I was like, what? Like, so I didn't start watching that stuff until I had a reason to. And I was like, oh shit. So I still, the big shit I'll watch, majors I'll watch. for those. But yeah, I'm not like daily all in on those. But I'll watch. I know now what's going on per Black people. And what else do I watch? I love track and field, but basically only get to see it like 2-4 times a year, or
Right.
every 2 years or 4 years. Yeah, I think I like a lot of sports. This is why I like, yeah, I name a sport. I don't know. I think I like enjoying watching most things other than just driving stuff. And not for a lack of interest, just a lack of introduction.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So it's really, again, you're like most sports fans that you'll watch most things. There's always that one. For most sports fans, there's always that one or two things that's like, I don't watch this,
Nah,
which is fine because again, most people aren't exposed to certain things, which I totally
exactly.
understand. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, or
totally
it's
get
not
that.
in their city, so they don't watch. Like if there's not a baseball team in your city, you may not be a fan.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, and it's yeah, that's what I said earlier. I think it's like people don't know what they like until you show it to them, you sell it
Mm-hmm.
to them a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
I could be shit. Call me next year. I may be a mad NASCAR person by then, who knows, right? So it's just sell me on it. Sell the world.
Okay.
That's
I
marketing
mean,
media. That's our jobs.
now
That's
2 weeks ago they had a NASCAR race in Vegas a couple weeks ago. It was a really good
oh really?
race. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah, because they had
was that that
yes, two
F1
weeks.
thing?
No, that's totally F1 is totally different.
See,
But yeah, so yeah, but
oh yeah, you're right. There was because I met a guy in a bar and he was from Tennessee. He's like, yeah, I flew here for the race. I was like,
uh
oh okay.
right,
Yeah, you're
right.
right. It was
Yeah,
at like
yeah.
South Point or something.
Yeah, South Point. Yep, South Point
Yeah.
400. Yep, it was a really good race. Really because that was because they're in the playoffs right now. So next this coming Sunday is the championship race. So they got their
Okay.
last four races. They're going to race for championship this coming Sunday. So
I
yeah,
had no
they
idea.
yeah. So there you go.
See?
See, yeah,
No
there you go.
idea.
Just learn a little bit. Learn a
See?
little bit.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. We want
yeah.
something? Okay,
There
yeah.
you go.
But yeah.
Um, do you have a sports bucket list?
Oh, yes. Going to every ballpark. And I'm not even a massive baseball fan, but I want to go to every ballpark.
Okay.
Um, really stadium. So I'm like trying to check off a lot. But I'm almost like, you know, I'm trying to plan with a friend right now to go to Intuit Dome because I'm a Clippers fan, and
Okay.
unfortunately, and I want to see this new stadium and shit. So I'm trying to figure that out. But bucket list for me, going to like every ballpark or every major stadium for football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been, yeah, to mm, mm, I squared. Where did I go? Oh, I went to DC for the first time, and yeah, I got to go to Capital One Arena. That was fun
Okay.
for the Caps 50th home opener. So going to every stadium is a list, or is on my bucket list. Um, what else is on my bucket list? Mm, I've sat front row at WrestleManias.
Mhm.
I've
Okay,
been on
okay.
the 50-yard line. I've sat courtside. But not for a championship. So maybe, yeah, like a Jack Nicholson seat for game 7. Like that would be sick,
Okay, okay,
something like
okay,
that. Because I've
okay.
sat on the court, but regular season stuff.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, arenas. Because yeah, it's traveling shit. I want to see every stadium and arena.
Okay.
And oh, I wanted to go to the US Open on Serena's last tour, but I didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah, if Coco Gauff is in the finals, yeah, I would go for her because she's
Mhm.
basically the next Serena.
You're right,
I hope,
right, right. Yeah.
US Open I want to go to. I've been to an NBA finals. I've been to WrestleMania. I've never been to a Super Bowl. And we
Mhm.
talked about why I wasn't at this one because I couldn't go outside because of Taylor Swift.
Oh, right, right,
I
right, right, right.
couldn't go to this one. It was in my backyard. And I was like, this sucks. And I can't even go outside. So I guess the Super Bowl, US Open. Um, I mean, if it was free, I'd go to a World Series, but I'm not like huge about it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I guess for the experience to eat the hot dog, you know.
Mhm. I
For
mean,
me,
you were in the building for the World
I was
Series.
in
I
the building.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
if I was
right.
so yeah, championship shit and every arena, every stadium.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Because the Olympics are going to be, in LA and shit, and I will be as far away from California as I can. Like, I have no interest in going to that shit. None. There are too many people.
Yeah,
Those are too
it's
many buttholes, and there are not enough bathrooms. No, I don't
oh
want to be
boy.
around any of that traffic. I don't love anything enough to
Yeah.
deal. Unless I am like PJ, private jet, suite, red carpet thing, which I am the farthest from. So it ain't happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
No.
imagine that traffic
I will
and
not
how
know.
it's gonna be terrible.
No, they can have it.
Mm.
Because I will not. Nope.
Oh my goodness.
I
And then
value
and
my
then
peace.
and the people who live there have to live through this, which is the absolute worst, you know?
That's why I said, I did the 12 years in LA, like Rikers, and they can have it. I'm not going back.
Like
And
Rikers.
yeah, like I'm not going back at all. So yeah, they can have it. They can deal with it. I left. It took me 12, 13 years to get out. That's why I'm now a local Las Vegan. Vegan? I don't know what we say.
Yeah,
Nevadan. But
Nevada, yeah. Las Vegan, I don't know.
yeah, Las Vegas and I don't know.
I don't know.
Vegas Alino? No.
Oh my goodness. Wow. It's like, oh, I don't
Yeah,
know. This
we're
is
getting
getting
loose. I'm getting loose now.
this
Sorry.
is getting crazy. Um, any thoughts on so you're obviously watching a lot of sports, a lot of stuff going on right now.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on any things happening right now? I know there's what NFL, NBA,
Yeah,
college football,
um,
MLB. Like wait, what's on your mind on those things?
yeah, my brother and I were talking about like to us growing up, like basketball was number one, but right
Mm-hmm.
now it's like a far two. Like there's a very large gap between football interest and basketball interest. And it makes
Mm-hmm.
me sad because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, why don't I care? Like it's just, I don't know if it's oversaturation. I know the actual game and play of itself, like how now 7-footers are shooting from 40 feet out. They've got like the lack of a true center and a post, the way the game has evolved, and it's all Steph
Mm-hmm.
Curry's fault. That even as I watch a game, like bothers me, like because I was a center. They called me Shishak. I wore 32. Like that was because of him. And
How tall are you?
6 feet.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And yeah, so I was like 5'10" as a freshman. And so on
Okay.
varsity, and it's like, okay, big bitch, you're five. Done. So I accepted my role. And now it's gone. There's no true center. Now
Mm-hmm.
center's got a 40 shot. Like people just love to pull up. And I'm like, so I hate like that part of the game itself is just like drives me nuts. But
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, I haven't watched an NBA game yet.
Okay.
I have not watched an NBA game yet. And I want to feel bad about it, but I don't.
Mm,
And normally December is like Christmas is their shit. Now I think
right.
it's just so funny. NFL's like, ha ha. And now there's Christmas games.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
ha ha, we have Thanksgiving
Right.
and Christmas food. So
Right.
last year, I remember we put the game on football, but they try to time it so that there's only a little overlap and you could watch one,
Mm,
but my interest in basketball has shrunk and I'm sad about it, but I want it to pick up and I'm trying to recognize maybe why outside of the game. I don't know if it's too many. I know we've talked about 82 games. Is that too much? Should we reduce things? And I know they've tried to make regular season matter, making this in-season tournament and all of that stuff to make things matter a little more, but the way that they painted the court drove me absolutely nuts, so I couldn't even watch one. I was
mm,
like, oh my God, like it was just there's just a lot of stuff that I haven't been liking about the NBA that has just snowballed into it's November and I haven't seen a game yet. Every day
mhm.
when I see something on Twitter, I'm like, oh, he's on that team now? Oh shit, okay. I was like, what? My boy, that awesome Kiwi that was on um the Grizzlies. Damn it.
Oh, I know. I can't. I can see
With
his
the
face. I can't call his
hair.
name.
Yeah. With the
I
hair
can't
and the
call his name.
beard.
I know. I know you're talking about.
He like
I
tore
can't.
an ACL last year and didn't play a
Oh
lot.
God, yeah. I cannot call his name. Save my life right now. But I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh,
Um. Yeah.
now he's on like the Spurs or something. And I was like, oh, he's over there now? Shit. I don't say that because I've just been that out of the loop.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
are there cool things happening? Cool. Like, yeah, when I was at a bar watching something else when the whole Bronny LeBron thing happened when they were on the court. And I was like, oh, okay,
Mm.
that's cool. They're like, you want me to put the sound on it? I'm like, no. So I just and I was watching. I was like, okay, yeah, this is huge. Like, cool. I saw it,
Right.
and now I'm back to my regularly scheduled programming of stuff
Right. Right.
that
Right.
So I
Mm.
don't know if I'm the only one, but and I might be, and this could be an isolated issue. It could be a me thing, but I
Mm-hmm.
have just over the last couple of years, my interest in NBA has been steadily
Mm.
on the decline. The stock is, yeah,
Mm.
stock is in red. We're not
Mm.
green. We're not green. And normally, yeah, by Christmas it starts getting green, but we'll see this year. Right now, it's still like that's going on. And yeah, me and my brother, he's like, same thing. Okay, so there's two of us. The Singletons don't like basketball. That's the headline.
Okay. Okay.
And right now, as much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Dana White sucks. UFC
Mm-hmm.
sucks being a fan. And football's awesome. Um, I sat for Aiden Hutchinson. I'm an Eagles fan. So I got the
Okay.
Eagles green hoodie and my
Mm-hmm.
little Eagles necklace. Yeah. I'm going to Rams Eagles like I do every year so far. Um, what was the thing they were just talking about?
Steven Adams. I'm sorry. I had to look it up so I
Steven
can tell you.
Adams. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It was
God, I
driving me
love
crazy
him.
because I could see his face. It's
You
like, what is
know,
his name? Steven
tall,
Adams.
long hair,
Yes.
gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. He's Spurs now?
I think so.
I thought it was when I
No,
saw him.
Houston. The
Houston?
Rockets.
Shit. Oh, I moved to
Yeah,
Texas.
Rockets.
So weird. I forgot
Rockets.
James Harden was a fucking Clipper. I was like, good God, I really buried it in my head like that.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, why?
Harden.
Oh, here's another hot take. Get punt Kawhi out of my life. I've
Yeah.
never I tweeted this before. I think you like laughed at it or something. I was like, I've never been more sick of someone than I
Yeah.
am Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
He's from Riverside like me. He went to San Diego State like me, and I want
mhm.
to punt him like Baxter and Anchorman over a free out of a Clippers jersey. I am so done. Y'all can have him. So done.
Mm. Take a
Done.
goofy laugh with him too. Like, yeah.
Done. Go. I don't want it. And I don't know what Steve Ballmer is doing. I want to have the appetizer with him and just say, listen, fuck him. he, he has wasted 7 years. What, five? He's played like cumulatively 2 days. So I don't know. It's time. We let go
I
of Paul George because okay, same thing. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I
Go
had the number
away.
written down of how many because someone filed a lawsuit
Yeah, his
saying that the
physical agent or
trainer.
yeah, his trainer.
And I remember I talked about this, and I forget how many. Like he's played like
An hour.
this many games. I think 400 some games. He's played like 100 and some odd, which is absolutely crazy.
But is
Considering
a
when
billionaire.
he's getting paid, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, because Charles Barkley, I heard him on Dan Patrick the other day, and he was talking about how bullshit it is Embiid not playing back to backs. And it's like you're getting paid $1 trillion to play a
Mm,
game. You can't go out for 25 minutes.
mm,
Word?
right,
Really? Like
right.
you're that out of shape you can't do it? Or you want to protect yourself from like, no, fool. They did. Why? So is it, and he was basically like, oh, this soft generation, all that. And I'm not arguing. Like,
Right.
I'm like, this whole not playing back to back. Why? And fans, if they are a diehard 76er fan and you're not playing that game, and that's their one chance to go to a game because shit's expensive and it costs $100 to park and the bathroom's nasty and a hot dog is $1 trillion, if that's their one chance and you ain't even sweating, that would piss me off.
Load management.
Bye.
Right.
Like, and Kawhi is like captained by because I am so over, yeah, this load management stuff. Do you want to play or not? I know you're hurt,
You're right.
but no, you're not. Like, you play like nothing. You get paid also $1 trillion. Like, sweat already. And if you can't play, then go away forever. Be a
I'm
commentator, get a podcast, do something else. Cause I don't want, or just at least don't wear blue and red no more and live in LA. Lakers can have them. I don't give a fuck. But I don't want them no more. I'm done.
go to your boss tomorrow and say you want to be load managed and see what happens.
They would laugh.
And see what happens.
Man,
there you go. There
yeah.
you go.
Like,
right.
Regardless of what the salary is, like, really? Like, yeah, not happening. I'm done. I'm tired. You like sprain your labia every other season. I'm so done with you. Go. That's what me and my brother keep tweeting. Anthony Davis too. Like, he's a sweetheart as a person, because I helped produce this one like NBA 2K commercial once, and he was part of it. And he was great. James Harden was also a part of it, and he was a dick. But this was his like Khloe Kardashian era. So he showed up diva 7 hours late with his own groomer. He's like, nobody's touching my beard except my guy. And I was like, oh, wish you told us, because we could have saved that from our budget. Like, now we still have to pay our hair and makeup anyway. Like,
right.
Anyway. AD, same thing. Me and my brother's a Lakers fan. So every time like AD gets hurt, I'm like, oh, he sprained his vagina again. Like,
damn.
So every time Kawhi doesn't play, he was like, oh, torn hymen. I was like, I know.
Yep.
It's just
damn.
He can't. These babies, I can't. It upsets me.
Yeah.
That's a fan rant. I know it's not logical, but it is. And it's my fan hat and my really big takeaway, like, ask your boss load management, right? So it's like real talk and also fan, like, go away. We've tried, it's not working. It's like dating. Okay, it's not working.
Right.
It's not working. You don't see me enough. We don't, we're on different, we want different things. Okay. Like, I like to hike, you smoke crack. It's not going to be, we're not getting, there's no synergy here. We want different things. So let's break up and be mature about it. That's what I want. That's the conversation I want to have with Steve Ballmer. Be like, make this mature already. Just break up.
Oh my goodness.
It's time. It's time.
It is time.
It's
wow.
Time. New stadium, new era. Get rid of them. That's what I'm saying. Don't give me money, because I would make that a billboard. I don't know how to act. I will not know how to act if you give me money, because I would do shit like that. I would anybody could buy a billboard.
Right. Correct.
And I would be like, new arena, new year, bye. Bye, Kawhi. That's all I'm going to make a shirt. Bye, Kawhi. Hashtag bye, Kawhi. I want to start this. I need it to happen. I'm so done. I've never been so sick of someone.
Bars.
Hashtag bye, Kawhi.
Nice.
I want it to happen.
Wow.
I'm sure he's lovely. But I don't know, but our connection ends at we're both Aztecs. That's it.
That's it.
And he went to MLK High School and stuff in Riverside. That's fine. Like, that's it. Hashtag bye Kawhi.
Bye Kawhi. Well, Tunisha, thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you so much.
You never know where you're going with me sometimes.
Oh no, but look again.
It's fun journey.
What did we say? We start here, we end.
Who knew we were gonna? I didn't know we would end with hashtag by Kawhi. I didn't know I was gonna end with a T-shirt, but now here we are. Copyright
that, and make that happen. How about that?
Done. You'll get 10%. Done.
Appreciate you.
Brought to you by
the podcast needs a budget. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Put it on the back. It's like brought to you by absolutely. Like we would do that.
There you go. Before we go, podcasts, socials, website, hit us.
Yes. Website, TunishaSingleton.com. That's where you will find my links and background and how to contact me there. Twitter is the only social platform I really fuck with, and that's at T Singleton Says. Podcast is I Have Questions. You could find it from my website. It's on every platform. You could also that handle is at IHQ Pod. But yeah, subscribe, because I'm telling you, IHQ 2.0 is in the works and happening right now. So I'm excited to start to unveil some of that stuff as we get closer to the end of the year.
All right, sounds good. And again,
Yeah.
appreciate you coming through, and
Anytime.
definitely got to have you back on
I
because
would love it.
again, some great insight. I mean, this was a fantastic conversation and a great way to kick off the 300s as we move forward in the
Yes.
podcast.
Congrats.
And
That's huge.
thank you so much. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we end the podcast here, and you know how I end. I'd like to also, as I always like to thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Continue to subscribe, give a 5-star rating if you can. Email the show. The email's in the show notes. And until I'll talk to you again, make sure you continue to mask up, take care of yourself. It's that time of the year. Get your flu shot, your COVID vaccine, and also remember to drink your water and mind the business that pays you. Peace.